we are working through the dark night of the soul to understand that we can be who we want to be, not who we were supposed to be based on what the ancestors had in store for us, what they believed back then, right? So I can have a million things, but I'm going to pass it on to somebody else.
So Amelva said about giving permission and giving ourselves grace when we're in that darkness. And I think that is so very important. Because we aren't trained to give ourselves permission to feel bad feelings, the anger, the frustration, the fear, the sadness, all of the things that we're going through. We are told that toxic positivity, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, suck it up, you'll be fine. Everything that we now realize is part of mental health in a lot of ways, goes into that dark night of the soul as well. And all that programming and negative, put it down and just push it away and compartmentalize it instead of sitting with it and loving it, because it's a part of us. And if we can love it, we can then love ourselves. So that permission to give ourselves that space to sit in the darkness, to feel the emotions, allow the emotions, energy in motion to move through us, to then be able to move forward is absolutely integral to that process. And the hard part is when you start finding the light and when you start seeing, oh, there's a path out, you almost want that instant gratification. I see that with clients is, oh, I'm now spiritual, I need to become a healer, or I'm now this, and so I need to, do whatever. And to MJ's question about how do we tell them to navigate that, is you don't have to choose right now. Allow yourself, give yourself permission to go through the process, because you're going to have a lot of pivots. You're going to have a lot of changing directions. And that's part of it. We're on a journey. We're not looking for the destination. Unfortunately, we also think that we have to find the destination, to what Natalie said about getting the house and getting the job and getting the kids. And it's not about the destination. And so you don't have to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes, and actually making the mistakes makes it even more beautiful, because you grow and learn and get to know so much more about yourself and the world we're in.
Did you have anything to add to that, MJ? Anything that you would like to share about that?
That was beautiful as well, Janelle. Thank you for your feedback with that, my question.
Awesome. I do have a question for you, ladies. I am interested to know, during the dark night of the soul, what did you experience? Was the biggest expectation that other people had of you, or you had of yourself, that you had to let go of?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think the hardest thing for me to let go was the choices I had made when I was fulfilling roles for others. To your point earlier, Victoria, about the generational trauma and expectations that were placed upon me, going to college, going to law school. And, when I had just finished law school, basically when I was in the middle of my dark night of the soul, and, thousands of dollars worth of debt now. And I'm like, oh God, what do I do with this? I don't even know if I want to be an attorney. I don't even know if this is in fact what I want to do, but I spent all of this money taking this path. What do I do with this now? And figuring out how to navigate the choices I made and the path I was trying to follow before I knew better, before I knew myself better. And so that was one of the hardest things for myself. And I see that with my clients as well, is they've taken these huge steps, done these huge things to go on a path that they thought was what they needed or what was expected or what they should do. And now they're finding it's not what makes them necessarily happy. And they're trying to figure out how to navigate their passions and desires and needs and wants with what they have a skill set for today, and figuring out how to merge that together.
Mine is similar. mine was the expectation of the role of being the eldest child. And I'm the firstborn from both sides, so oldest, and just there was all this expectation. I was gonna be this perfect leader, first child, everyone's gonna follow this great, perfect example. And mid-20s is when like it was just crumbling. I was not showing up like that. People were literally saying, Natalie, you aren't like this anymore. Why aren't you the happy one? Why didn't you plan this? Why didn't you like all the, and then finally, and then I realized that I wasn't verbally expressing to people that I no longer wanted to be in that role. I just started acting and retracting almost. And then I got the courage to express that I'm no longer choosing to be that kind of leader and in that role. But that break from being it for so many years and then deciding that I didn't, and then saying it out loud to the people that I loved the most, that for me was like a huge shift in the dark night of my soul, because I didn't want to let my family down. I love them, right? They're like the people that I love the most. Like, I don't want to let them down, but I was letting myself down more. And I finally realized that could no longer happen.